Hey, I'm Alex Rackle from Board Game Co, and today we're doing another unboxing and rambling, although this one's going to be a little different than my usual. First of all, still no coffee. Ow, that hurt. I smashed my hand with the back of my knife. No blade or anything, I just smashed my hand. You may have even heard that. If you rewind, you'll probably hear a little tick. That was... Anyways, first of all, no coffee in this video either, unfortunately. My unramblings are basically the short version. Short version, I don't know when this video goes up, but effectively, if you don't already know, I am moving soon. And that means that I've been dealing with trying to cram videos in at different times than I normally would to try to make sure I'm all prepped for, the week of moving. And, that means I've been doing a lot more back-to-back videos and choosing to make sure videos get filmed even when it's not coffee time. You see, my coffee time, if you don't already know this, and if you do know this, kudos to you, you watch way too many of my videos. But my normal coffee times is every morning I get up, and then around whatever time I get up, usually somewhere between 8 or 9. I usually go to sleep between 2 to 3 in the morning. It depends on the night. If I'm really having a late game night, it can go as late as 4. But I would say an early night for me is 1. A normal night is 2 to 3. And I usually get up in the morning generally between 8 and 9. That's my rough schedule. But that means I usually have coffee in the morning, right when I get up, first thing in the morning. I also have it along with overnight oats. This video is getting very, very personal, by the way. But I also have it along with overnight oats. I love overnight oats. Not the brand overnight oats. I actually started with the brand overnight oats, but it didn't work for me, unfortunately. So, well, that's true. That's not true. It did work for me. It was great. It was just super expensive. I don't know if you know, but overnight oats, it might be called oats overnight. One of those things. The idea of it is a little packet. You buy them, you shake them into a little container, and then you go ahead and have oats overnight as a gruel, almost like a drinkable oats mixture that is honestly pretty good. Helps fill you up throughout the day. Gives you a lot of protein, gets you going, and if you nobody signed up for this amount of information. You can click to whatever you want. There's timestamps down below. Interestingly enough, my unboxing and ramblings are usually all over the place, but the only thing I actually timestamp is the content of the unboxing, not the rambling segments I go on. Back to the oats overnight. I liked oats overnight. I didn't like the idea of paying $3.50 every single time I had breakfast on something that felt like I could do it myself, and so I decided to do it myself. I started looking up recipes for overnight oats, and now I have, basically, it's, you have rolled oats, so overnight oats. You mix it with whatever you want. There's a bunch of flavors that I particularly enjoy. Mine are meant to be very, very easy to make. They are very easy to make. And I basically have various forms of oats overnight, well, every morning for breakfast. My favorite flavors are going to be my peanut butter and banana, my peanut butter and jelly, my apple butter and cinnamon. There's a few different flavors I really enjoy. They're all just very simple. You have a handful of ingredients and you can have a nice breakfast that honestly will keep you pretty full all the way straight up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At which point, which we get back to the original point, at which point I have my second afternoon coffee, not my second afternoon coffee. I have my second coffee at around 4 o'clock every day, which means my usual coffees are when I get up, somewhere between 8 and 9, and then somewhere between 4 and 5 is usually my second afternoon coffee, which means my unboxings are almost always filmed at 4 to 5 in the afternoon. Because my morning coffee, I'm usually doing emails and getting all of that done, but when I do an unboxing with my coffee, I try to film it specifically at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, which sometimes works. Other times doesn't, and because I'm trying to cram all these videos in order to be prepped for my move, I am not always having coffee in some of these videos. Now that we've spent about 7 minutes, now that we've spent about 2.5, 3 minutes on my morning coffee routine and why there's no coffee in this unboxing, I do still have a knife, because that is immaterial to anything I just said. Past that, none of this is why the unboxing and rambling is atypical today. I said it's going to be an atypical unboxing and rambling, and it is going to be atypical. And the reason is because we're unboxing and rambling around an RPG. Tanares RPG, more specifically. Usual disclaimer at this point, although honestly, if you've made it this far, you probably already know. My unboxing and ramblings are exactly that. They are unboxing and ramblings. I go all over the place, talk about whatever I want. Sometimes that means I spend 100% of the video talking about the game in question. I personally find those the most boring. Other times, it means I go on any number of side tangents on anything, usually inspired by something that happens in the video. In this case, it was inspired by me telling you, hey, here's why there's no coffee. Let's get a whole lot personal about my morning routine and all of that stuff. Past that, unboxing and rambling. It's this is nice. Unboxing and rambling. My unboxing and ramblings involve me talking about anything. If that's not for you, totally get it. Respect that. If you made it this far, it probably is for you. Secondly, this is an RPG, which means I can kind of guess what a lot of this video is going to be because of the nature of it being an RPG. It's going to be a little bit of a conversation around why I actually have this RPG and why I'm interested in it, and then a whole lot of me opening up books and things and saying, ooh, the art on this looks great, and I don't know anything else. But literally, that might be a lot of what I say. Which means if you're looking for an in-depth conversation around the nature of the RPG, what system it uses, I think it's built on the D&D 5e framework, I think, but I'm not certain. If you're looking for that kind of nuanced conversation, you're not going to get that here at all. This is me trying to dive into RPGs, and if you ever watched my crowdfunding coverage, you know that my usual coverage of an RPG is, here's pretty stuff. You can buy it. I don't know what's going on here. It's probably the difference between, like, you know, having someone who doesn't play board games look at Gloomhaven and Oathsworn and Isofaring Guard and Tanares and look at all these games and say, they look the same to me. I don't know why you need 4 of them. Isn't 1 enough? I don't even want 1. Why do you need 4 of them? And that's the way I feel about RPGs. Not actually feel. I recognize the ignorance, and that's where it comes from, but that's my instinctive feeling that is then challenged by the fact that I am a thinking human being who can make decisions past that. Although there's a separate conversation around the nature of free will that we'll save for a different video. Anyways, let's go and open this up. This is the Tanares RPG. The reason I got this RPG is a combination of 2 factors, and there were 2 factors here. The first is the fact that I like the world of Tanares Adventures quite a bit. I like the art, I like the characters, I like the game, I really enjoy this. This map seems like it's the thing you already have in the basic game. Is it different? Is it different? It might be different. Oh no, this is different. This is very similar style. If you've played the board game, this is a very similar style. We can probably zoom out over here. There we go. There's our like RPG map over here. So this is the world of Tanares. I believe we dealt, it looks like the same structure. I think this is the same general structure, which means we should be talking about the place in Tanares Adventures, Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf is over here. So I've dealt with this map if you've seen my Tanares Adventures playthrough. Also, I should say that I have been doing paid content or sponsored content around the Tanares board game, Tanares Adventures board game. This is not a sponsored video, but I have been doing sponsored content around the Tanares Adventures system, which I'm still going through. Anyways, going back to over here, we have this side of the board. I don't know what this is. Is this Fisherman's Wharf? Is this an extrapolated? I don't know, but I mean, looks fine, looks cool. Anyways, so reason number 1 why I dove into an RPG is going to be the fact that I like the Tanares Adventures system, and so that has me more interested. That logic holds true for a few systems, by the way. Right now, I believe Simon is currently doing a Zombicide RPG, like Plague Bearers or something like that, and because I'm interested in Zombicide, I'm like, I'm interested-ish in the system. Heck, I'm even interested in the Gloomhaven RPG. As much as I'm burnt out on Gloomhaven itself, the RPG I'm intrigued by. Maybe that's something that's worth trying out. Interested does not mean taking the time to play, though. That is a very important distinction. I'm interested in a lot of things, and I always have to prioritize where my time goes at any given point because there's so many things I'm interested in. Past that, what do we have over here? We have our little, we have our DM screen. Okay, this is going to be our DM screen, giving us our actions in combat. Keep in mind, I'm ignorant on a lot of things RPG, which means I do know that very often you have DMs who are sitting over here. Where's my dice pack? Nope, there's a power cards, dice kit, and minigame. This seems like it's got dice in it. Let's go ahead and open this over here so I can roll some dice behind the screen. And again, my knowledge of RPGs is limited, but my understanding is there's 2 camps of rolling dice behind the screen. Camp number 1 is you're always supposed to roll the dice and just call it the way you see it. Camp number 2 is the DM is meant to make sure you have a good experience, and if the DM needs to lie to you about what the roll is, well, different people have different stances on that from what I've seen on the internet. Again, if I'm wrong here, don't shout at me too hard. If you're like, no, everyone agrees you should never lie about the dice, okay, then I'm wrong. But my own perception from the content I viewed seems to indicate that there is room for fuzzy numbers. So for example, let's take this die over here, which is beautiful, by the way. It's a beautiful die. I like this a lot. But I'll show it to you a little more detail soon. I'm going to go ahead and roll this over here because you attempt to attack and... Ooh, well, you roll your own... Okay. This is... I don't know if you see that. I'm sorry. That is... Okay. Is this a 20? Can I... Let's hold this so you can see the side. Zoom in. I think that's the 20. I think that's the 20. Is that the 20? Or is that the 1? That's got to be the 20, right? Is there a 1 hit? Nope, but that's the critical failure. Never mind. But let's pretend there's the 20. I rolled the 20. We're safe. We're all good over here. Anyways, past that, so, again, I don't know a lot of things, but you roll the number, you say whatever. Oh, look at that, a 14, you hit the guy. Do you even say it's a 14, or do you just say success? I don't know a ton about RPGs, but the DM will run the RPG or whatnot, and have you guided through the system, whatever that system might be, and we're zoomed in too much again, back out again. We're going to be doing a lot of zooming in and out, but over here, we have our various conditions, we have our actions in combat, our temporary hit points, we have our various food, drink, travel pack, all these basic information things that will be behind your DM screen. Or at least I assume basic, because otherwise why choose to put those things behind the screen. Outside of that, what's the second reason I dove into the RPG? Focus on one thing at a time. The second reason I dove into this RPG, or decided to get this RPG, is because I believe it can be played without a GM. They have a GM-less pack over here to play through the RPG. I don't know what that means. I don't know what exactly is in the cards for that pack, but the idea of playing an RPG without a GM to me seems like a good way to guide me personally into RPGs, because at that point, are you really different than a board game? And the answer is maybe. I won't know until I read it, but it might have similarities or differences. I mean, I think Tanares as a system in general feels a little bit like an RPG, like a DM-less RPG to a certain extent. I mean, Gloomhaven to a certain extent falls in that category as well. Some of these big box experiences are meant to emulate that kind of experience. So we do have a little bit of a crush corner on this over here. That doesn't bother me personally. I do recognize that it takes all kinds of folks to go ahead and back different games, and I recognize and understand that sometimes you'll back something that has a dented corner, and it might really ruin your experience. We have the Adventure in the Realms of Madness, we have the Player's Guide to Tanares, and we have the Campaign Sourcebook. The sheer amount of information we have here, and I do have to go ahead, I love the art of Tanares. I think they have great art, great visuals, great production. I'm very interested in their Odolin game. They have that coming up. That seems more my speed in general. This is an experiment. I mean, I still have the Alien RPG on my shelf. I still haven't played it. I need to reach back out to Free League. They were supposed to schedule an RPG session, basically, and it never really happened. And I'm very curious because I still keep trying to give RPGs a fair shot, and so far, my experience with RPGs so far has still been negative. Every time I've played an RPG, I have not liked it. The 3 systems I have played so far are a system I don't remember because of my first experience ever. It was like 12 years ago, 14 years ago. But it was a system I don't remember. That's number 1. Then outside of that, there was, I can't remember what it's called, Pathfinder. I played Pathfinder. Didn't love that, unfortunately. And then I played the Tainted Grail RPG, which, this is like stuck on my knife. Tainted Grail RPG. I'm trying to cut this, by the way, without cutting the book, which is why I'm trying to be so, like, I don't want to, like, mess up the pages. So I'm trying to be very careful. Anyways, the Tainted Grail RPG, which, again, wasn't for me based on my experience with it. Not to say it can't be for me, but so far I haven't loved RPGs. I've given them a fair shot a few times, but I keep trying because, I don't know. Like, what if you only ever play 3 board games and they're the wrong ones? Should you give up playing board games? Honestly, the answer probably is yes. Sometimes board games won't be for you, and that's okay. So, let's go ahead and flip through these books over here. This is going to be a light flipping through. There's way too many pages to go through absolutely everything. I do kind of want to show you everything we have here because I think it looks cool, and then some of the stuff might prompt me actually saying something interesting other than, hey, the art looks great. But we'll find that out together. I will say the box over here, this little seal is raised. Like, it's raised. Like, if I push here, I'm stopping because I have to, like, go over that. It looks like oh, I like that. Okay, this side's not raised. This side is a lenticular eye that opens and closes. Let me see if I can show you that. I don't know if these show up on camera. So over here, can they show up on camera? There. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. That's so cool. I wonder, like, I'm seeing it on the screen right now. I do wonder if it'll show up. Okay, that is a nice touch. I'm just going to do this for, like, the next 5 minutes. I hope you bear with me over here. Ah, oh, that's so cool. Look at that. I'm going to do it again up here. But now I'm going to open eye, close eye, open eye, close eye, open eye, close eye. The difference between men and boys really is the price of their toys. Let's go ahead and open the book over here. Also, I've now done more than saying the art's cool. I've said open eye, close eye, open eye, close eye. So we're making progress. Let's go and open this book over here. So we got this. We have lots of the characters, the people involved who've been involved in, I guess, writing stories for this. We have Ed Greenwood, Bruce Naismith, Amy Vorpal. I will admit I am not knowledgeable enough with the RPG crowd to know any of these names, unfortunately, but I am certain that many of them are very important names, and I apologize in advance for not knowing them. We have the Open Gaming License over here, which I think is from D&D. I remember they had this in production while they were going through the whole Open Gaming License drama. And then we have, like I said, great art. We have books over here. We have Zara's Mansion over here. Zala's Mansion. Do I know Zala's Mansion? I think I know. Is that Commander Zaler? I'm trying to remember the characters from the world of the board game. We have great art, as can be expected. A whole lot of, you know, I don't even know, of these, like, the optional side quests. Sarah's Tavern. I know Sarah. We know Sarah. We're familiar with her. She's like the tavern wench or whatnot. We have lots of just stories, I guess. I don't know what this is. Again, I don't know how much. I know nothing about RPGs. I told you I'd be saying that, and I'm sorry. It's still true. We have all these. I don't know if these are going to be actual maps, although that's interesting. You know what? One of the things we have to go over today are maps. And so it does seem like that might be the map for that. So we have a whole host of maps to go through. I don't know if we'll bother opening them all, but let's go ahead at least and open this one up and see what we got, because honestly, I think it's cool to be able to say, look, that map you just played us, It's over here. It's over here. Granted, you have to zoom out now, once again. I told you lots of zooming in and out. And it's not really laying flat because there's a book underneath it, so bear with it and all that. But that's basically what we got there. Let's go ahead and close this out. Maybe I'll show you the maps at the end when I can more properly do so. Although I think I folded this wrong. There we go. There we go. That seems like it might be right. Uh-oh. Nope, nope. We got to fold this in here like this in here like this, and this over like that. We've figured it out. Anyways, back to the book over here. So we have the book. We're just going to continue flipping through things. And just let's pull this over a drop. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do some running through this. Again, you'll have the various maps, the stories, the encounters, all the great art, a whole lot of content for this book. Because we have 234 pages already. We're not even done yet. We have all of this, and then this, and then this, and back up to like 300 pages of, well, this. And with that, we can go ahead and look at the next book. This can go back into the eye. Oh wait, nope, we need to put the binding on the outside. Oh, inside there's fun stuff too. Let's go ahead and show you, see what you can see on the inside. I don't know how well you can see, but there's like, you know, there's a dragon there. There's a little dragon against the wall. At least I think it's a dragon. It's a dragon statue against the wall. Anyways, let's go ahead and put this back over here and start with the next book. So, we have the Player's Guide to Tanares over here. This is going to give you, I guess, information about the world itself. And this is what I've never understood. Like, when people play an RPG, do they read 300 pages of lore to be able to play the RPG? Is it just there to reference? Like, I genuinely don't understand RPGs and how they operate. Like, to me, if I get a rulebook, I read the rulebook to play the game. But RPGs feel like, it feels like you can't possibly read it all to play an RPG. Is it really like that much world building and work to be able to dive into it? Or, hey, we got one of our characters from the board game. I know that guy. Or do you just kind of like loosely touch upon the things you need? Like, if you're referencing the Draconic powers, do you look up what the Shield of Scales does because you need to look up the Shield of Scales, or do you know it at all points? Again, I know none of this. I am very intrigued. I want to find out more, but only if it's a system that actually works for me. Because I love board games. I'm a big fan of, hopefully you know that by now. I love board games, but RPGs are something I kind of want to like, with the recognition that I don't need more things to like. I already have way too much to deal with. We have all these things, like Night Seal, casting time 10 minutes, casting time 1 action. Like, this whole thing, this whole system of building out a character feels cool. It feels cool, but like, I haven't had it work for me in practice. But I don't know what level of investment you need to do to make it work for you. But people love RPGs, or at least seemingly so. So I don't have really answers for you. I just know there's a ton of stuff to go through, and I don't know how much of this I will or will not. Like, I have the whole Alien RPG system. I have all the books for it. Oh, we know them. We know them. They're a problem. They're the oh my gosh, what's the name of them? The Kemet. The Kemet. Past that over here, I haven't played the Tanares campaign in way too long. I know her. She's one of those multi-class characters. I think she's the only multi-class character in the game. In the board game, that is. We know him. He's one of my mages. Avalon, the most powerful wizard in the world. If he's the most powerful wizard, why do I find myself using other wizards at times? I do like him, though. Alright, that's kind of what we got for this book. Lots of cool-looking things as far as building your characters and your world. And we're going to go ahead and put this off to the side into this sleeve. And lastly, we have the campaign sourcebook. Well, lastly for the books. We still have lots more to go through because there's so much stuff to go through over here. So, let's take a look at what we have here. To our esteemed friends, the Dogori Games team. I mean, I read the first and the last, not really reading the rest right now, but I'm sure I will go through some of this at different points. Again, I am interested in this world. I like the world. I am curious about the RPG-less part, or the DM-less, the GM-less, the Game Master-less. We have our characters. We have Tamara, the Goddess of Life. She heals people, and I like healing. We have Arcanum. We have the art, survival, Night Realm, Endless City. So, like, here's an example of something I don't know. What's the difference between the Player's Guide to Tanares and the campaign sourcebook? Like, what do those things do? Again, I don't know. Now, usually at this point, by the way, because whenever I go into an unboxing of any different kind, there's usually different levels of what I know going in. Sometimes I've played the game. Sometimes I've looked up the game. Sometimes I know nothing about the game. And usually at this point, I'll have someone commenting, well, that was 30 minutes of my life I can't get back. I don't know why I watched that, for you to say, I don't know the whole time. And to you, I say, that's halfway fair. It's fair in the sense that you're right. I'm just basically showing you what I have without being able to elucidate further. But also, I did kind of warn you, so I don't know if I'm willing to take responsibility for you bypassing the warning. Although there is an interesting commentary to be had about someone who skipped into the video. I started going on a rambling about the nature of coffee and overnight oats, and then they clicked to the first timestamp, and they missed the part where I gave a disclaimer about it being an unboxing and rambling. That person has a potentially fair complaint, and I'll also say, at a certain point in life, there's just only so much I can do. Like, I will try my best to put out content that I think is useful in some way, and make no mistake, I wouldn't put this out if I didn't think it had some value. I think that I do think there are people, I know there are people who enjoy me going on these rambling adventures just as much as I enjoy that. I know there are people who enjoy me going on these rambling adventures as much as I know that there are people who do not enjoy it. There are both kinds. So that's the first reason this content exists. And the secondly is I do think it can be fun to see all the goodness. There might be players like myself who don't know about these systems, who don't know that this is a GM-less RPG, who don't understand why I, as a non-RPG player, am diving into it, or I shouldn't say diving into it, would like to dive into it. The reality is I have so many things at any given point that are asking me to play them effectively. Not literally asking me to play them because they're paper and cardboard and things like that. A lot of metal because there's deluxification, and plastic because miniatures. But there's no one actually asking me to play them outside of the sense of pressure to play all the stuff I have. Ooh, what are these? What are these? Ooh, okay, we got decks in here. I don't know what these decks are for. Basically, let me show you this over here. We got these decks, all these little decks in here. And I'm going to go ahead and open one of these decks and see what's in this. And then based on this, decide whether I'm going to open the rest of these or not. So, we have our Mad Walker. I'm going to open this. Are these like their literal power cards for RPG players? I don't know a thing what's happening. But again, I like the idea. Okay, let's go and show you some cards over here. So the back first. Backs are all going to be the same. Let's zoom in a drop more so we can... we're zooming out. I always mess up the zoom in and zoom out. On this side over here, we have, bioluminescent secretion, 1 insanity point. Dark energy, 1 insanity point. When making an attack before rolling, you can imbue your weapons with phenomenal energy as a free action. Until the start of your next turn, your next successful attack deals an extra 1d6 necrotic damage. So this looks cool. I like the idea of insanity points. I don't know enough about the character to know what that is, but I love Cthulhu May Die, and the idea of paying some form of insanity usually sounds compelling. And fun fact, that's why I want to play the Alien RPG. Because Devin Norris, a friend of the channel from Lucky Duck Games and from Devin Talks Tabletop, he basically convinced me to try the Alien RPG because of the nature of paying your own resources to be able to roll more dice, which has an element similar to Cthulhu May Die. And these have various levels of insanity points. Up here on the top end, we have 5 insanity points for various things. We have the Eye of Augury, 5th level Nightmare Augury Trail. As an action, you close your eyes and they merge, becoming a large eye in the center of your face. For 1 minute, you have True Sight and can use your bonus action to take the dodge or disengage action. During the duration, you can use an action to focus your eye on a creature you can see within 40 feet. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or suffer the effects of the confusion spell. Upon taking this action, the aberrant mutation ends. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. Now, I'm not going to open up all these packs of cards because, again, it's basically going to be riffling through a few cards and then commenting on 1 or 2 cards. I think I can save you that time. Although I will say, class-wise, let's go... Whoa, okay, now I'm confused because we had Madwalker, we had Redeemer, we have Dragon Blade, which sounds cool, and then we have Elementalist, which is the rest of the box, which I will admit to being surprised by that. But then again, if you know D&D, maybe that makes sense. Is that where all the spells are? Because, in D&D, isn't there, the whole idea of, you have a limited number of spell slots or whatever? I think that's a thing. I vaguely recall. I think, I once saw a Wormwood board that looked really cool as far as how it would hold your spell slots or something. Again, I didn't even know enough about RPG, but Wormwood stuff looks good, and that looks very cool. That's the thing that they made right once. That's the thing that they made once right. I think I said that's the thing that they made right once. Anyways, over here I'm going to open up these because there's so many of them. We have Lightning Wall, and Made of Lava, and Magma Glow, and Mantle of Water, and Scrape the Sky. These have casting times and ranges and components, duration, all these things. Static Field. You create a circular field with a 20-foot radius centered on a point within range. Charged with static electricity. Creatures that move within their area take 1d4 electrical damage for every 5 feet they move. Your next elemental surge affects a 30-foot line that is 5 feet wide and deals 2d6 lightning damage. I love the involvement. I can't help thinking that I'd almost prefer this as a video game. At which point, someone should say to me, well, Alex, have you played Baldur's Gate? And I'm like, I haven't played Baldur's Gate. I've been meaning to. Thank you for asking me. I genuinely have been meaning to. In fact, speaking of Devin Norris, friend of the channel, all that stuff, there was going to be a 4-player game of Baldur's Gate that was planned between me, 2 friends, and Devin. And Devin said no, he doesn't have the bandwidth for it. And so we forgot to continue trying to find another person. So that kind of thing happens as well. Anyways, let's go ahead and put these back over here. I've opened I've opened 2 now. 2 of these 4 packs of cards. And here are your power cards, which are going to go off to the side. And we'll figure out where and how this is all being stored. Maybe I'll show you the maps at the end, although we'll see. Let's go ahead into the dice kit over here. The dice kit. This looks cool. This looks very cool. I will acknowledge that I'm very excited about this and possibly incorporating this into my regular Tanares game that I've been playing that I will get back to. I will be getting back to it. I'm sorry it's been taking so long. Anyways, we have our regular Tanares game over here. That's going to be this guy over here. So, these, well, that's not the regular Tanares game. These are the dice kit. Let's go and open up these over here. I don't know what these are, but we're about to find out. This is why I use a knife, because they don't have that pull tab. which honestly I don't usually trust those pull tabs anyway as far as making sure cards aren't damaged. This is a very, whoever sealed this deck of cards, there was like no obvious point to pick at it without damaging the cards. I found the best opportunity and went for it, and I think I'm mostly safe. But anyways, we have Reckless Attack over here. If you are the enemy, and this is from a cleave, oh, we have different sides to these. Deal 1 damage to one enemy hero in the reserve. Then if your HP is at least 4 greater than the enemy's, deal 2 damage to one enemy hero in the reserve. Can be the same as above or another. I don't know what these cards are exactly. They're in the dice box, but maybe I'll find out more as to why they're in the dice box. What I do know is these dice look cool. We have these over here. We have, it looks like 3 dice for each type or whatnot. I don't know. But let's go and show you some dice over here. Let's go and show you the, like, look at this. It's got some nice degree of coolness in there. Like, I really like that die. And then we have all of these as well. Let's try to show you all of these basic dice, and then we have specific offshoots for, I guess, classes or whatnot. If I can get this out. Oh, so these aren't going to be able to replace my regular D20 in my regular Tanares Adventures, I'm realizing, because of the fact that there's not, you know, consistent D20 of the rest. But we have our regular dice pack. I mean, these are very glittery and cool. I like these a lot. You know, we can go ahead and roll. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this, because I can. Yeah, there we go. There's the zooming in. Here we go. These are your dice. And of course the big guy, the big D20 over here. And these all look very cool. I like them. Past that, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest over here. And I'll do it the faster way than everything else. So just go like that. There we go. Now it works. Now I'm going to put these back before I show you all those, because I can probably figure out exactly where these go loosely. This guy goes over here, I'm guessing, because it just looks like it. This one goes maybe over there. Nope, nope, not there. Not there. This one might go there. Or does it go there? I don't know how these go. That one goes over there. This one goes over here-ish. And this one goes over here? No. Oh, I'm realizing the problem now. I see the problem now. This goes over there, and this goes over there. We got it. We made it work. Probably. There might be one of these that's wrong. Nope, it's right. It's all good now. Anyways, going back to these over here. So these have less of a look to them as far as their types. We got, you know, you have your D4 over here. I think we had another one. D4, D4. Do we not have another D4? We have our these. I don't know. I don't know. We have a lot of dice. A lot of dice. Let's go ahead and show these over here to you on the top camera, and then annoyingly figure out how they all go back. I like the color schemes. They look nice. They look good. I like them. But past the fact that they have unique icons on them, honestly, you can find pretty cool dice on eBay for a relatively cheap price point. If you're looking for like colored dice, I have a lot of dice that I do enjoy their look. I like dice. I don't use them for things, but I like them in theory. Let's go ahead and put these back over here. So it looks like there's 3 D4s. I don't even know how many there are of these guys. I'm just going to go ahead and put them back over here and figure it all out. But there's 3 D4s. There's a D8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 D8s so far. We have 6 D8s, 7 D8s, 8 D8s, 9 D8s, 9 D8s. Why? 9 D8s. And then we have 4. Nope, we have 1. Okay, 1 of the D12 maybe. That's that. And then 3 of the D10. Okay, so now you know the distribution. And they actually fall in pretty decently as far as, there you go, they fall in pretty decently, assuming you can figure out which dice are which. So, we're done with the next thingy. Let's go on to the next box, which is going to be the Emperor's Private Art Collection. And then lastly, we have the GM pack, as well as the actual maps themselves. Anyways, this plastic or this knife. I should probably sharpen my knives. I'm realizing I don't think I sharpen them. I do have a nice sharpener. Once I started doing these unboxings, I bought a knife sharpener on eBay for like 12 bucks, and then proceeded to never use it, which sounds about right. Anyways, let's go ahead and open this over here. Let's zoom back out because I'm sure we'll need to. There we go. This is our book over here. Ignore the table getting all shifted up as I do these things. Okay, so we have art on the side. This is not going to be as useful as I was hoping, but we could go ahead and do it this way. This looks like just art. Art from the world of Tanares, which I do think, to be fair, I do think the art from the world of Tanares is amazing. I have looked through the various rule books and shown my kids this art at different points. I remember this guy. I have this guy. He's one of your companions. He's a crossbow companion. He joins you in one of your adventures, depending on which mission path you choose in the board game. Then we have, we have Sexy Mummy. I always thought there was going to be Sexy Mummy. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I can't take Sexy Mummy seriously. I know that we have all these conversations around nowadays around the nature of, you know, the different ways women versus men dress and these types of things. And I think there are levels of what's normal, pushing it, you know, I don't know. I think Sexy Mummy is a level. I think this is a... Dragori, I think you're great. I like your games. This is a little ridiculous. Anyways, we'll move on from Sexy Mummy over here to fully clothed, armored up woman. Like, see, this is a good example where you see, sure, there's some visible skin areas, some degree of small amounts of cleavage, like, but this falls into a realm that, at least for me, and I recognize I'm speaking only for me, not for any number of people, especially those who might not like this, but for me, this falls into, like, a realm of, okay, fine, there's some degree of creation and fantasy and some degree of, like, looseness to what you're doing. And then there's sexy mummy. Like, even this, like, at least it fits within the nature dynamic of things. So, like, even though there's a lot more, like, skin or whatnot and a lot more, like, body shape showing, like, sure, but, like, it kind of makes sense for, like, nature and life and a nymph druid. I mean, like, at least I can buy into the fantasy. I can't buy into the fantasy of sexy mummy. I want to make that the title of this video now. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I will. But I almost want to put either in the thumbnail or the title, the sexy mummy. The problem is I don't, like, I am giving Dragori a bit of a hard time for how ridiculous it is, but, like, I don't want to make the entire video about that. But it is funny. Past that, now I kind of want to go through every single one and see, like, again, like, I can semi-buy into the fantasy. I can understand it. Although, by the way, I love this guy. I've always loved this art piece. I've seen that in the other one. So, again, there's different levels. And then we just have, you know, regular, just, you know, these things, which are great. And we have places, locations, we have an eye, more stuff. And again, I'm not going to go through every single thing in here because there's so much to go through. And I think the best part of this was definitely the sexy mummy. So that's what we have. Anyways, next up we have the GM-less pack, and I will admit that I have no idea if I will find myself any wiser having opened this box. Now, I assume if I read things, I will, but that's a different conversation because right now I'm not reading things. I'm literally just kind of going into this and seeing what we got here. So, let's go ahead and see what we got here. We got this, and that's this bad boy over here. We're going to go and open this up and see. So, let's pull this back a drop. Okay. GM-less pack, and we are going to open and see what we got. Okay, so we have this over here, GM-less, and then we have a bunch of sleeves, a bunch of cards, and a bunch more cards. Now, I am hesitant to open this, I'll admit, because I don't want to mess things up over here, but let's start one thing at a time and see where we go. Let's start with the Adventures in the Realm of Madness, because that's the main book we have over here. I assume this will guide us a little bit on our journey of a GM-less adventurer. So we have the same people in the front over here. We have GM-less combat system. Okay, so again, the only problem is this is 213 pages of rules, and I don't know how much you're going to have to deal with. We have Introduction. Welcome to the GM-less mode of Adventures in the Realms of Madness. This book presents a suspense-filled narrative 5e adapted to be played without a game master, in which you and your party will navigate the treacherous waters of political assassination, unraveling enigmas, and discovering the cult of the Shadow Wing's dark schemes. This sounds good so far. We so far have, let's see what the rules are like, okay? We have rules, chapter 0. Okay, so we're already jumping straight into combat. So I can work with this. This actually kind of reads similar to the Tanares Adventures combat, if you see me play through that. There's a degree of choice or agency and choose your own adventure, so I like that. This is all chapter 0. So it looks like we have chapter 0 is page 6, chapter 16 is page there. So this is going to be the intro to it. I am intrigued. Okay, so I need to reach out to Dragori and just find out, because here's the thing I need to find out. Chapter 1, Murder in the Ballroom, and that's going to be, chapter 1 is already going to be, like, you know, twice, 16 pages versus 10. So, I mean, it's not crazy. Then 38 to 74, 74 to 94. So it looks like they're usually in the range of, like, 16 to, like, 30 pages. The first one's going to come in at 10 pages because it's chapter 0. But the question is, this looks like the only thing you really have to know before you dive into it. One page. One page is not overwhelming at all. The tricky part is how much of the rest of those books do I have to read. But I will say I'm a lot more intrigued at the fact that they... I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm going to see exactly what I need to do to be able to play this game, because if it's not that much of an investment, I'll do it. Meaning I have it. I plan to do it at some point. The question is, how soon do I do it? But if I have to read like 30, 40 pages, sure. If I have to read 600 pages plus one page, it might take me some time to get there. That's all I'm saying. And then we have these cards, which I figure represent the various, you know, enemies you'll be fighting against with whatever that does. I don't know. I don't want to open these. I want to be able to organize them. I do appreciate that it comes with all these sleeves, which I guess these don't come with sleeves, but the rest seem to. Either way. Which means the last thing to go ahead and show you right now is going to be the maps, which I will show you. I'm going to go ahead and zoom the camera out. Well, let's get one map set up and then zoom the camera out, and then from there I'll show you the rest. Now, I don't know if I'll show you all. Let's see how fast we can dive into this. In fact, I'm going to skip this one. I grant there are two sides to it. I'm still going to skip it because we did open it up. So, we're going to go and show you this over here, and let's see what we got. Now, right now, I do need to zoom out because we are way too zoomed in over there. There we go. This is the map you're dealing with, which again, looks cool, looks much better flat, not surprisingly. And then we have the other side of it, because each map's going to be two-sided over here. We have the wagon situation. We got a horse, a little thingy, and I'm sure these are all incorporated into the individual stories. And yeah, I think I'm not going to do all of these. I think it's too much. Let's pick 4 maps to focus on. So that was map 1. I like this. This one looks good already. And we'll do double-sided even. You know what? We'll do 3 more double-sided. Okay? This, no. This, maybe. Let's do this one. I like the color scheme on this one. This one's the color scheme of that again. This one is... Ooh, this one's got, like, you know, some sort of tornado thing. Let's go with something a little nature-driven. There we go. That was 4 in the end. That was 4. So we are still doing 5 maps. And the rest you'll have to find, I don't know, look at the rule book or figure it out. Again, this is meant to be showing you... Ooh, I'm glad I picked this one. I like the other side. So on this side, we have this. Okay? We have a giant boat that you're dealing with. I like the idea of being on the boat. I've been on boats in Tanares, in fact, although usually as a smuggler, not actually engaged in combat. And this is the side I thought I was getting, which is the scenic, all that stuff. I like this. I like the idea of having these maps. Now the question is, can they incorporate these into the board game? I mean, not really. The board games already exists. In theory, they can come up with more content, but the reality is I don't need more content for Tanares Adventures. I will never be able to finish the amount of content that game has. I do like the game system. I like it a lot, but they will never be able to finish the amount of content that game has. Okay, let's go to open this up. We got tentacles, which is always fun. So we have our tentacles on this map over here. We got little spirally guys over there, which are just, you know, not there to have fun with you. And then we have this, which looks far less interesting, but honestly, this is the side I picked, and this is kind of boring looking. I don't love this map over here. It's fine. It does the job. It's not like, I'm not complaining, you know, not all maps are going to be created equal. And then we have one more. No, 2 more. I lied. 2 more to go over here. So, let's open this one. It looks like there's some sort of a demon summoning sanctuary going on thing over here, which this definitely looks like something that's a bit of a pact or a rift, or, you know, someone's drawing signs on the floor, and you know that's never good. You know that's never good when that happens. And then on this side, we have this, which looks like a lair. A situation of a lair to go ahead and deal with as you wander in, deal with the various spiders. There better be spiders on this map, or else someone did not design that level correctly. Although that could be like the ultimate fake out, just like, here's all these things that make you think it's X. And really, it's halflings. Halflings trying to kill you. I don't think halflings are present in D&D, but I could be wrong. Anyways, we have over here. My bias there is I just think halflings are Lord of the Rings, but maybe there's something else too. I don't know. I'm not an expert in this area. And lastly, we have this over here with some degree of, you know, just being a round table. And then this, which has me intrigued. I like the idea of whatever's going on here. The system of cages, and there's almost, you know, visually this makes me think of Machina Arcana. Machina Arcana visually has that like very great system where fire's coming up underneath you all the time. If you played Machina Arcana, you know what I'm talking about. And that is, I think, what we have for your Tanares RPG 5e unboxing and rambling. I will admit, I didn't say that art looks great as much as I thought I would. I did have some surprises, such as the dice were very cool. The sexy mummy was definitely a highlight for me. And outside of that, I am very intrigued by the GM-less mode of this game. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and rambling, and as always, I hope you have a good one.